David Schwartz at the Ondo Summit. I've got a few clips you need to pay attention about tokenized charge being the destiny of blockchain. I moreover have a few clips from Brad Garlinghouse, all forms of XRP news on this one guy. You're going to need to observe this complete issue. Let's pass in advance and parent this out simply fast. So David Schwartz published this Speak Me on the Ondo Summit in recent times at the panel of DeFi 2.0. Wall Street meets blockchain at 1:23:0 p.m. Eastern Time. Disgusting. The possibilities and challenges of institutional DeFi and the future of on-chain innovation. Let's go ahead and pay attention to this primary clip right here. David, you were seen the whole evolution of blockchain from early Bitcoin days and were a co-creator of the XRP ledger. In your view, what do you notice due to the fact the most substantial distinction between DeFi 1.0 and DeFi 2.0? And what do you observe is wanted for mainstream adoption? Yes, thanks. Both myself and Ripple were in this employer for correctly extra than 10 years now. We watched the very early stuff going to what is taking place now with institutional adoption. In the very beginning, it was very experimental, and it come to be nearly like Las Vegas. It was gambling. It turned into very attractive, despite the fact that such as you enchantment to quite some people to fancy casinos. However, it does not have an entire lot of actual worldwide software program. It's no longer economic gadget 2.0, economic machine 2.0. An entire lot of it is frankly dull. Like for optimum people, what they want is sort of a monetary savings account is a genuinely beneficial issue. It does no longer produce excessive yield. It is not very unstable. However, it is extraordinarily useful and realistic. And so we've got watch that evolution to extra beneficial, extra realistic, extra employer targeted, greater compliant. You recognize compliance emerge as a bad phrase in the early days. Like everything emerge is just absolutely decentralized. But the hassle is the rate is inside the real global if we're going to construct Wall Street 2.0. We can not just say neglect about everything that it's trillions of bucks definitely worth of real international charge. So what you are seeing nowadays is you're seeing strong cash, which they may be igniting DeFi ecosystems. They're very institutional merchandise, however. They're, moreover, without a doubt, all of us can keep them and transact them. They're compliant. However, they will be additionally unfastened flowing. You're beginning to see DeFi packages that appearance greater like TradFi. They're not about getting massive quantities of yield at very excessive danger, but they may be approximately matters that make lots of enjoy to human beings like treasuries. I suppose the obstacle for mass adoption and put on in, within some years of that fee base, we want the institutional adoption for us. The same thing passed off with the internet. You need to construct bridges to wherein the price is, to in which the humans are. There have to be usability. You already recognize we have to resolve all of these issues that permits you to show that nook to mass retail adoption. So I think the precursor to that is going to be mass business enterprise adoption. And I expect it's far proper wherein we are now, probably why everybody's right here. Let's pay attention to that last 10 seconds over again, guys, due to the reality that was a bang. Listen to this. You apprehend we have to remedy all of those troubles so that it will flip our nook to mass retail adoption. So I suppose the precursor to this is going to be mass enterprise organization adoption, and I suppose it's miles proper, wherein we're now mass organization adoption, and David Schwartz says, I assume this is in which we are now all proper. I find it irresistible. I find it irresistible, guys. Remember, I went to lunch with a fan and his spouse of the channel, and his name's Clayton in reality. Awesome, man. We had in reality, suited a laugh, verbal exchange over a pleasant meal. And we had been talking, I changed into speaking approximately institutional adoption of virtual assets. And so for the longest time, retail, me and you have actually been speculating on lots of these property, right? They move up, they cross down some rugs, some rip-off proper. It's just been the Wild West. But now that establishments apprehend how valuable blockchain generation is, this is the essential thing to unlocking all the ones quadrillions of dollars throughout the planet. That is wherein in real price discovery will come from. And David Schwartz is telling us that institutional adoption is now proper here and it's miles here to live, all right. Here is every different communicate with David Schwartz. I'm being interviewed via this adorable lady proper right here. I don't know who this man is. Maybe a few other I do not know. Allows play the clip. I experience like we truly are at the cusp of mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of different blockchain era. I expect this is also like one of the key obstacles to mass retail adoption. A lot of human beings in the area formerly notion that retail adoption changed into just like the huge wave. However, I count on institutional adoption is a precursor. You need to connect to wherein human beings are. You must visit in which the rate is. You cannot build a brand new economic system from zero, ignoring the triumphing financial system, wherein absolutely everyone's coins is in which all of the cost is, wherein the real global, the actual global is. You recognize trillions of bucks in fee. You can't just say neglect about all that. Let's build something new over right here that doesn't paintings. And so I suppose this wave of institutional adoption over the subsequent year or is going to be what is going to pave the manner for mass retail adoption, and then we can supply on the owner's promises. Like all of us want to financial institution, the unbanked, but similar to the unbanked, like they have got on the manner to spend their money to buy groceries and pay their cell phone invoice. And so we need to have that institutional connectivity. And I do now not assume there are any limitations. I count on it truly is. And I think this convention suggests that the purpose is always being able to create a extra inclusive monetary system. There's a lot of people around the sector that in fact do not genuinely have a monetary group account. If you're inside the United States, majority of you haven't any troubles with a bank account, maybe a loan, an automobile loan, a majority of these types of topics. A lot of people cannot even get those styles of matters. So as institutional adoption comes, there may be moreover a movement inside the crypto area behind the scenes to assemble out use cases so individuals who are on bank can are available and be inclusive. This is where in degree the playing discipline type of comes into. It moreover comes into tearing down the massive banks and announcing, howdy, this era is better than your generation, and it saves cash. You are going to apply it proper. That's what Ripple's been pronouncing for like 10 or 12 years. You're going to use it right. And banks are like, no, you understand, we are now not going to do this, right? Citibank, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, SBI, Santander, they're all lining up. This is the future. Let's move in advance and plan for the future, make our top-notch, knowledgeable selections with the records that you currently have. If you're truly now joining us, and you are simply now getting into the distance you bought loads to observe, but it is not excellent time to be here, and I suppose the next few years of your existence may have big effect in case you location the proper bets on the proper time. Now is the right time. All right. Eleanor Terrence says, the new CFTC is making plans to keep a CEO discussion board to speak approximately the launch of the corporation's virtual asset markets pilot application for tokenized non-cash collateral consisting of stable coins. Participants consist of leaders from Circle Coinbase, Crypto, Common Ripple. And then it says the crypto pilot software program, in addition to the notion of expanding the usage of non-cash collateral via distributed ledger era. Our thoughts, performing chair. CFTC's FAM is formally recommended for, and he or she simply there as picture with Brad Garlinghouse in her. You apprehend she's got her a number of connections into Ripple, and I posted right here. Best a bit ago, we, in the end, have a seat at the desk, right? For years, the XRP network Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larsson, Davis Schwartz, Stuart Alarati, all of those men were underneath assault through the USA government proper. It does no longer get larger. If you ever get a lawsuit and it says you're being sued with the aid of American government, it truly is something to worry